In Chapter 5 of the Rhetorical Acts textbook, it examines arguments, a key factor in rhetorical action. Arguments are made up of claims and then followed by a justification or reason to support those claims. They usually start with the claim or an assertion, followed by the reasoning using evidence to justify it. On page 109, they describe an issue as a fundamental point in a dispute, a crucial question in making a decision, choosing stance, or selecting a course of action. Most issues are questions of fact, of value, or of policy, and generally distinguish arguments and reveal resources. Question of fact is a dispute of whether evidence exists and how it is interpreted. A question of value is a dispute whether what is desirable or useful or moral or ethic. And a question of policy is essentially a course of action. The most basic arguments are enthememes, induction and deduction, causal, and analogies. Enthememes are shortened arguments that encourage audiences to provide their own information and material to fill in gaps and form their own conclusions. Dimensions of rhetorical action reveal a mixture and interaction of qualities. They have instrumental, which is a tool, and consummatory, which is a purpose in action in life, justificatory, which offers reasons, and ritualistic, which is particularly performative, logical, which requires links between ideas, and associative, which is learned through personal experiences, literal, which is the described world, and figurative, which describes an internal state, and finally factual, which is verifiable, and psychological, which appeals to needs and desires. Strategies of proof mimic arguments, but invite audiences to provide their materials to justify claims or draw conclusions. They include rhetorical questions, fortiori to the greater, enumeration, refutation, definition, enactment, and turning the tables. These styles of logical arguments can be found in the RPC essays of Hollander, Wilkinson, Anderson, and Vasquez. As Hollander explains her claim that identities in hip-hop love are constrained by pressures to fit into already existing identities, she supports her claims with numerous reasoning and evidence to strengthen them. An example includes how she claimed that women had a hard time breaking into the world of rap in a male-dominated industry, and then she follows it with support from an article from Cheryl Keyes on black women rappers and their history. Wilkinson describes how the country music ideology and how it applies to specific people such as liberals and conservatives, and he uses concrete evidence to justify these claims, such as direct quotes. He uses factual and verifiable evidence, such as the Washington Post. And Anderson talks about how autotune has changed the music industry, supporting her claims with different types of evidence, such as stories, artists, events, direct quotes, rhetorical questions, and other things to draw conclusions. Vasquez explains the two perspectives of documented and undocumented immigrants in the U.S. and how the influence of a Latin singer essentially changed her perspective in life. She uses her own personal experiences throughout the whole story to really justify her claims. Overall, the many components of arguments are important in effectively conveying the rhetoric message and persuading the audience.